And I asked myself, can I even do this? So if you've been following me around for a while here, you know that a couple of weeks ago I went to do a half marathon. And I love driving over there to Mountain View. It's a couple hours away from our house and it's just so pretty. And when I drive through there, I think about hiking because it's all rocks and hills and mountains. And so I was sitting there and I was feeling so uncomfortable. Like, what if I haven't trained enough for this? What if I can't do it? Even though knowing in my heart that I had done everything I could to prepare. And still, my thought was, what if I can't do it? And I'm not going to dwell on the results of that race because if you've looked at the last couple of videos, you know that I talked about that pretty extensively. So I got there. The atmosphere is good. The people are nice. I started a conversation with a lady who is a couple years younger than me, but still over 60. And I loved that. And then I found some Marines. And so it was a really good environment. You know, that's what I found when I got there was a really good environment. And I knew that they were awesome because before I ever entered it, I had written them an email asking them about a cutoff time. And they're like, oh, we'll be here waiting for you. And we are so proud of you. And I was like, wow, these people are nice. And I will tell you, it was a fundraiser for a church. So you kind of expect that they are going to be nice. But they truly were so nice and very kind. And so the whole race experience was great. We prayed before we started. I loved that. I've never done a race that they did that. And then we all went out the door and I lined up with everybody else. I didn't get to the front because I'm not fast and I'm not intending to win or be fast. And they started the half mile or half marathon people with the 5K people. So there were all different levels of fast out there. And so I just put myself at the back and then I passed people as I needed to as I went. So everything's off and running and I'm doing just fine. And I was like, okay, it was all really good until it wasn't, you know? And once I got out there, like almost 10 miles, I realized that this wasn't going to be it for me. I wasn't going to be able to finish it. And so I tried not to beat myself up, as you know. I tried to look at it as data. These are things that we need to learn from, you know? And you're not a failure because you went 9.77 miles and the people who stayed at home this Saturday on their couch, they didn't go anywhere. So I had to try and switch my mindset. You know, mindset is just so important. And even yesterday, when I was out there doing my long walk, I did 2 hours and 15 minutes time on feet yesterday. I ended up around 8.6 miles. And I kept telling myself that you can do this because I've done it before. I've done 13 miles, which is a half marathon, 13.1. I've done that before, but that day just wasn't in the cards for me. So I realized too when I was walking yesterday about how much of a mind game this or anything really could be. Something new, something that's a bit of a challenge for you. And it doesn't have to be running or walking or anything like that. It could be like, I want to join this club. And you go to the club, you have nobody else who wants to go with you, but you really want to do this. And what's stopping you? You're the only person stopping you. So you get there and you have to walk in the door by yourself. That is the hardest thing. I used to be so shy, maybe not inside the house with my family, but when I would go to school and stuff, I was like extremely shy. And there are times like when I go to a networking event where the time that I get out of my car and get into the building and talk to the first person, I am that shy little 10-year-old again. And I'm terrified of not having anybody to talk to or whatever. And it has never turned out that way. I usually have a great time. I meet interesting people and I'm glad that I went. So what I want to talk to you about today is like taking that chance to just do it, even if you have to do it afraid, because ultimately it's not going to be what you built it up to be in your mind, I'm going to guess. So then the question becomes not, can I do this, but how bad could it be, right? You go there, how bad could it be? You could fail. But is it really a bad thing overall? Because ultimately, if we fail at something, we learn from it, don't we? I mean, I hope you learn from it, because those can sometimes be the best lessons of all. The reason why I failed was because I bonked, okay? And that means that I wasn't properly fueled for the race. And yesterday, when I was doing my training, I wore my vest, I used electrolytes. I made sure I drank every 30 minutes, and I made sure I ate a date every 45 minutes, because then, even though I don't feel like eating, I'm still doing the thing that I learned from that failure a couple of weeks ago. So you could fail, but it's not really a failure if you learn from it. Or you could it could be completely different than you even expected it, and you're like pleasantly surprised, like, whoa, this is this is not what I signed up for, but this is good, and you could really surprise yourself. You could surprise yourself by doing extra well. You could surprise yourself by learning something really great. You could surprise yourself by meeting some awesome people that you definitely want to continue to get together with, and all that stuff is really good. And so you just have to do it afraid. So these things can be really intimidating sometimes, something that you've never done before, or a group of people that you've never met before. So what you really need to do is just get past that and do the thing. You're asking yourself, can I do this? But you can do it. You just have to make that little first step out of your comfort zone, because growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable sometimes, and you have to be kind of happy with getting uncomfortable if you want to do bigger and better things in your life, or just have more new experiences than you've had before. I really love to hike. My husband really doesn't like to hike. I need to do time on feet. So I do time on feet where I can hike, because it's like the same thing. I mean, I'm getting the time on feet. I'm not moving as fast because I don't really need to. I just need to be used to being on my feet that long. But I don't want to not do things because somebody else doesn't want to do things. I don't want that to ever hold me back. There's too many things in life that my husband and I are very different. He's a great husband. We've been married almost 47 years next week. But we're very radically different, And I think for the first year, he went hiking with me because he thought I was going to get myself in trouble some way, until he saw that I'm like terrified of going on a bluff, oh gosh, I'm going to fall. So he knows I'll be extra careful when I'm out there. So I don't think it bothers him so much anymore that I want to go out there by myself. And I would take absolute, complete, care of, hey, I'm out here by myself and I really need to be careful. But to not ever try is the hard thing, is the bad thing, I think. When I got in the car after the race and I had failed, well, that was my initial reaction, I failed, I'm a loser. But in thinking about it, is that, okay, now I've done that, or I didn't do it, however you want to look at it. I didn't finish, and I've already signed up for a 50K. Oh my gosh, what if I can't do that? Oh my gosh. And so I start immediately thinking, like, can I defer this to the next year? Can I bring it down to 25K like I did with the half marathon this time? That was actually a good thing that I did, because clearly I couldn't have done a whole marathon, and I knew I wasn't ready for it. But you know what? November is a lot of months away. And right now I'm working on durability. So that's getting in the miles, making sure I feel good, getting the time on feet more so than miles, and just practicing to get through it. Because a lot of it, like I said, is going to be a mental game. But I have then, my actual training program doesn't start until July. It's only April. So I'm not going to lose anything by continuing on towards November. And I do believe that by the time I get to November 7th, that I'll be able to do that 50K. I am going to make a concerted effort to work on my mindset, because mindset is everything. And I'm usually really good about that, because I think that, obviously I have this channel. You don't have to stop. You're not old. You're just you know, like just because you're over 60 doesn't mean you have to stop doing the things you want to do. That right there is a huge mindset shift. And so I already feel like I have a good mindset. But I mean, I've gone out there when I like say my limit, I was supposed to do 11-minute miles. And I got to the second mile and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get to 11? I was like, I do that all the time. 2 miles is nothing. Where am I with this? And then I kept walking. I got to 8 and I had 3 left. And it's kind of where I was with the half marathon. Honestly, if I hadn't started cramping at the half marathon, that made me nervous. Health wise, like what that could turn into if I didn't take care of it. But I only had 3 miles left to go. I do 3 miles more than that every single day. It's not a lot. I could have done it. So I just need to like get it in my head and learn how to talk myself through. Yes, you can do this. It may be uncomfortable for the moment, but think how great you're going to feel when you get to the other side, right? So today I want to encourage you to try something new and do it. Do it afraid if you have to. Don't let that stop you. Don't let the fact that somebody else doesn't want to do it with you stop you because you won't do anything, like I don't know. I'm kind of crazy. I do weird things. I get excited about it, and I haven't really found anybody who shares my interests to do the things that I do. So I do a lot of stuff by myself, and it's good because I get to still share it with people. I get to share it with you guys, and I get to share it with my husband, even though he's not actually out there doing it with me. Like even after he retires in 2 years, I want to through hike. You know what through hiking is? That's when you start one end of a trail and you hike all the way through to the end of it. And I want to through hike the Ice Age Trail in Wisconsin. It's 1,200 miles long. And I want to through hike the American Discovery Trail, which goes from Delaware to California. And that is something he has no desire to do. But we realized that those are 2 trails where I've watched people hike them where they seem to sometimes have trouble sleeping at night. They have a trouble finding a place to legally pitch their tent. And I thought, if he follows me in the RV, then all that whole problem goes away. One, he can do what he wants to do. He wants to write books. He can do that during the day while I hike, and then he can pick me up. I can sleep in a bed. I don't have to camp. I can take a shower. I won't have to stink. So, I mean, there's ways around things. So you can still do them. And you can share it with the person you love, and it may not be exactly like doing the whole thing with them, but still it's good. So I'm encouraging you today to start small, start scared, but just start something. You never know what you can do until you try. And then ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen? And I'll bet you'll be surprised. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this encouraged you, give it a thumbs up and share it with another aging rebel who needs a little hope. I'll see you in the next one, and remember to live strong, laugh often, and shine with purpose.